All right, look, I'm making this video because I believe that in 2026, the sentiment is extremely negative. Everything from the affordability crisis to, nobody can buy a home. AI is going to potentially take over all our jobs. We're all going to be living in the streets and not knowing what to do, right? It's valid. A lot of these things are valid. That being said, nobody's talking about what potential solutions there are and what you can do. And let's just say, not just you, but the average person can do in order to make sure that by the time they're in their later years, they are financially free and financially secure and not going to have to worry about working for the rest of their life as a Walmart greeter or whatever the thing is at that point in time. So I'm just going to give you strategy. I'm not going to sell you no BS or anything or offer a course or education, whatever the case is. This is just me giving you straight value, how you can fix your financial future and have everything that you need to have for your life, right? Or want to have. So first of all, let's just cover the basics. So we all know that, okay, you save for retirement, you have X amount saved up by 65, 67, you quit working and you live off that income of what you have saved up. The average saving, I think the average like retirement income that people have is like 600,000 to maybe 800,000. If you want to live off 60,000 a year, you need at least 1.5 million because you live off 4% of that, which is about 60,000. And then, you can live off that for the rest of your life. So technically, theoretically, actually, you only need about 1.5 million. Now, that's not adjusted for inflation. When you adjust that for inflation over, okay, let's just say 60,000 today, I can live off that. 60,000 in 30 years from now, maybe I can't live off that. So you adjust for inflation and you come to realize you need $5.5 million saved up in order to quit working and live off of that, right? Majority of people will not have that. Okay, let's just be real. The average annual income right now is like 68. The average expenses is like 75,000. So like when people are spending more than they're making right now on the averages, of course it's just averages, but you get the point. So what's the solution? What do we do here? Nobody's going to make it at this point, right? You have to pivot. You have to realize that saving up for retirement in an IRA, 401k, whatever, that's just one strategy. If you're in the average income, you can't rely solely on that one strategy. So what do you do? First, okay, let's just say you're in your 30s, 20s, even whatever age you're at. One, you need to buy a home, okay? Because yes, you can say the home's not an asset, whatever, but regardless, you're going to be paying rent one way or another, right? So you might as well be paying it into something that's going to be hopefully paid off in 30 years, okay? But think about this. So now you have a paid off home in 30 years, and let's just say you stay in that home, it's paid off. That's going to decrease whatever your like mortgage is, right? So that's going to decrease your expenses. The beautiful thing about that is, okay, well, whatever my expenses are now, you can decrease that because you don't have a home expense, right? Ideally, you shouldn't have a car payment either, okay? So the two biggest expenses are your living and your auto, okay? So we cross those two out when we get to retirement. That's going to help you, okay, in the long run. Now, here's where this really, really matters. So far your life, you've only bought one property, right? Your personal home. Let's just say you bought it in 2026 this year. Now, if you bought another property in 2027, the next year as a rental property, and you put tenants in there and they're paying it off, one, you're not paying, like, other than purchasing that property, you're not really putting that much money into it. As long as you buy right, that's gonna be the big thing. If you buy the property right, your tenants are paying that mortgage off for you for the next 30 years. Okay, and let's just say you do this every year or even every other year, 5 times over. All right, so you have 5 properties right now, and then the next 5 years, and the next 10 years, and let's just say in 30 and 40 years from now, every year they're getting paid down. So if they're all 30-year mortgages, in 30, 40 years, all of those properties are now paid off. Now, let's just say everybody in the property is paying rent, right? Let's just say they're paying $2,000 a month right now. In 30, 40 years, let's just lowball it and say assume it doubles. In 30, 40 years, now not only are you like depending on this retirement income that you potentially are gonna try to have save as much as possible, but you're also gonna have 5 properties that are paid off because you had renters in there, tenants paying down the mortgage every single year, slowly paying them down. Now, over time, those are gonna appreciate as well too. So let's say you bought them all at 200,000. Now in 30, 40 years, you best believe they're probably gonna be like 4 or 500,000, right? So they're paid off because of the renters. Now you're not paying them off. Your renters are paying them off. And then two, once they're paid off, guess what happens that very next month? They still pay rent. So if they're paying 4,000 now, that's 4,000 from each individual property, right? 4, 8, 12, 16. You get the picture. You're now making dang near 16, 20,000 in passive income because you bought 5 properties 30 years ago and held on to them. Now, not only are you making 20,000 off those 5 properties, but those properties are now worth 500,000 each. Okay? So do you realize and understand how when you look at the long timeline, the horizon of the potential of not just saving your W-2 or your self-employment, your business income to save up for retirement, but you buy and acquire assets, ideally at least once a year, if not once every other 2 years. And that is how you truly be able to have wealth built up in the future. Okay, I hope you're still with me and you're understanding all this. Now, a big pushback you're gonna get is, Albert, how am I supposed to be able to buy a property every year that I can barely afford to buy my first one for myself personally? It's simple, but it's not easy. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. Okay, this is gonna mean that, and honestly, as long as you take care of your living, like wherever you're living right now, do I need to be paying $2,200 a month in rent so I can live XYZ area, or can I just spend 2 years living in a whatever neighborhood where I'm be paying a lot less, okay? And I can now start saving up for a down payment, right? What kind of car are you driving? Oh, am I gonna go and take out a $600, $700 car note that I'm paying every single month for a car when I know dang well I can go either buy one cash now, or I can get like a $200 a month car payment, and I can now save $500 to $700 every single month to have a down payment to buy my first property. So you save up, do whatever you got to do. It's not going to be easy. You may be living like nobody else right now because you're saving up, but you live like nobody else so that therefore you can then live like nobody else in the future. All right, I hope you're hearing me still. Now, you saved up, you bought your property. Well, guess what? You're still working your job, you're still saving. You're now hopefully fighting to increase your income through raises, applying for better jobs with higher paying income, or you even start a side hustle, right? Like everybody's doing nowadays. You find something that you're good at, you find a way to make money off of it while you're still working your W-2, whatever the case is, because you want to be able to be lendable. More on that later. But so now you saved up for, let's just say 2 years, right? You save for another 2 years, you can then go buy that second property, okay? And you rinse and you repeat and you rinse and you repeat. And then what's gonna be really cool is if you buy these properties right, you'll have equity. Well, now instead of having to save up every 2 years and quit and keep on living like nobody else, to live like nobody else, you can then do a HELOC. You can then do a cash out refi. You can pull money out of these previous properties and use that to put into other properties. And then there's a bunch of tax savings and everything, but you get the idea, right? So 8 minutes in, I'm gonna wrap this up and say, 1, yes, put money aside for retirement. Don't ever stop doing that, right? Put, however much you can to max out your IRAs and all that stuff. 2, you don't have any other choice or option but to get into real estate. It used to be optional back in our peers' generations and our parents' generations. Now, it's mandatory, okay? You buy your personal property, right? You find a way to cut expenses. You save up and you buy another one, and you buy another one, and you buy another one, and you buy another one. And then in 30, 40 years, you're gonna be so glad because those properties are gonna be paid off. Yes, you're gonna have to deal with tenants, just you're gonna have to manage all these different things. There's AI, there's software, there's tools, there's all these different things that can help you out, right? You'll find a way to figure it out. But this is what you're gonna have to do if you want to be able to be making that passive income, $10,000, $20,000 coming in every single month, that mailbox money. Now, of course, you can accelerate this, cut this time in half, cut this time into a quarter. If you get really aggressive with, using private money lenders, using, credit hacking, all these different things, right? Maybe you buy one and then you flip one in the same year, right? And that's going to give you cash to immediately go and buy another one. You go start a business and that business solely produces income for you to put into your investments, right? There's ways you can supercharge this. That's all going to be, here or there. But as long as you understand the core details of what you need to do in order to create financial security for yourself and your family. All right. That was a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments wherever I end up posting this. And remember to always lift more, read more, do more. Peace. Love y'all. I'll be out.